Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 winter Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics.
Mic check, mic check. What up, everybody? You got some Mad Van Gogh vibes, right? Seriously, we are straining the creative juices over here for every look and feel of the show. We've got a hell of a track record. Man, comes with the next one's rough. Let me tell you. You gotta admit, it's a hell of a run we got going. You know, when you look at how many of these things we've done. Couldn't do it without Director Vale, man. It's a fucking, it's a lot. But I definitely love this wall. Tell me if you came to YouTube and saw this and you didn't know what the fuck we did. You'd be curious what the fuck is going on in this channel. I think somebody would want to look, you know, but that's just me. Anyways, good to see everybody. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Thanks for everybody who sent me crazy videos. I appreciate it. That was pretty funny. Some of the Animoji videos I got. Shout out to Red and Disciples. Happy birthday to you, sir, fellow Libra. He's been with us for a couple years. So, Trading Lounge, you guys are fucking doing some shit. Love seeing that. I had put this up just now before I got on the show. And I think it's a good to look at as like a chart of progress. Oh, what in the world did I just do? So these are some of the folks from the show who have joined Trading Lounge through Discord. And that was our live FOMC. This is our first live trading call. You see how many people were involved in this one. This is first scorecard war story I basically made of people doing like trading in hyper volatility, and we took them through a couple of these like live training to trade live in the market, just like read it. That's that. Wrong one. And we got to our second live trading call, and much more organized, and people kind of getting a feel for it. Lots of new folks in it, some veterans and new folks in it. And then where am I at? Third one. Right, you can see it growing, and people learning to like read and trade markets mechanically, practice risk management, gain multiple entries and experiences in the marketplace. And we got to the fourth one, which is the last one we did, and then we turned them loose. And this was great. Much more people participating in this one, and you can see like people done at like what, Director Vale and Tiki done in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the day, out the door, hit profit targets. Really awesome to see this. And this is what I mean about training a smarter audience. I mean, I'm literally going to grab your ass and I'm going to train you directly. And we're going to do shit right in live markets. There's no bullshit in this. But some of you are working on paper, cool. Get towards where you can get your mechanics right. And then, I'll take your asses for a ride. This is Blood Red Friday, and I did not do a live call. This is all on their own. And you saw people trading and able to now take what they learned in live calls and apply it and just get that much more precise in their planning and to play, what is a very difficult market that people forget is north of 30 VIX. This is like deadly fucking territory. So to me, this is what it's going to take to survive what is you're looking like a new normal of never ever getting the fuck out of like 30 VIX, 20 and 30 VIX. And this kind of marketplace sustained for this kind of period of time since COVID is fucking devastating. It's not something easy for mom and pop to be in at all, nor should they be. And even the average retail trader hasn't really seen sustained conditions like this and low liquidity like this. It is a very difficult market, and the most difficult one I've seen since the banking crisis. Condor said, "Happy late 40ish birthday." It is 40ish. We'll go with that. I appreciate it. Thanks again for all the wishes. Shout out to everybody who do some bits in the morning too. Censored user exploit. M Mond, respect. What was that behind me? So Perky G. So let's see. A little low on the show there. 20 minutes in, 111. Looking a little thin, but for those of you here, don't worry, we got some good stuff. So markets are in a precarious place. We had a big ass megaphone last like a fucking week. The megaphone is now the most dominant fucking pattern in all of markets apparently. At least for this low liquidity period. We are on the base of it with like pre-market like strength. So we want to kind of look at where we are and see what we're setting up for. There was some over the weekend news about Credit Suisse having some like insane credit default risk, and that definitely is something that if it it harkens back to 2008, and what if there's a knock-on effect and there's more people in this position. Deutsche Bank is the next bank you care about because it's probably the shittiest run bank I've ever worked with in my entire life. I worked with hundreds of banks when I was a lender, and I've never seen a bank like that fucking be allowed to operate. Like, there's just no regulatory oversight. It's just a dog shit bank. So if Credit Suisse is in trouble, Deutsche Bank's probably in trouble. And that's worth paying attention to, bank, finance sector overall and the banks in it, because there's a lot of those guys are pretty weak, and if there's another version of the credit crisis brewing inside of those guys, we want to be on top of it, especially when we're talking about today's market conditions looking like 2007 structurally, sentiment-wise, and now possibly down to the credit system-wise. VIX structures look like similar, market structures look similar, and right now there are a couple of things that you need to have in place for it to be there. People are broke for a different reason, but like it's a different kind of liquidity crisis. Deflation wiped people's money out. This time inflation is wiping people's money out, but people feel the lack of liquidity nonetheless. So there are some sentiments, similarities too. So we want to keep track of this thing. If we leg down like 2007, we want to be able to capture that. Markets go up, they go down, only if you're fucking locked into one perception. We trade and make money off of differentials between two different assets. We give a fuck all about bullish or bearish. So our goal is to capture movement. And if this thing's going off a bridge, we want to fucking be there. So that's all we give a shit about. Shout out to TLO, appreciate you, sir. So let's see, all megaphones all day, every day. You already fucking know. I had a war story I couldn't read because it was a fucking novel. Now I'm playing. Let me read it this week. Start off right away with it, and then we'll move on. Let's see what you write me, sir. All right. Season 1. Would you write a fucking epic? What the fuck? Did you write me an actual book? Motherfucker. What the hell? All right. Endeavor to simplify, right? Less is more. But let's see what you did. This is Condor. All right. This is not going to... All right. The whole story begins at the end of 2020 when I started to watch Kaz's show and joined the Telegram group. In the season of the holidays, I was struggling to keep the pace with the content, shows, and convos. It was much info. I was working, family wanted to do stuff, and there were holidays, but tried to manage it. There were some really useful combos that changed the way I was thinking, some combos that I forgot, and some that literally teared me apart. I was relating to stuff discussed in the channel and learning new things. January came and I was switching jobs, had a lot of work to transfer the knowledge to other guys in the team, but managed to follow the shows during the work hours and still chatted now and then. I had a private talk with one of the staff members. Damn, bro. Give me to the meat of it. Could take this pause and rejoin the room when things settle down. No, I can manage it, I was thinking. I refused to leave the room. Finally, went to the new job to take a new laptop, had a few interactions in the chat room, but had to left open discussion without answering. I wanted to reply after leaving from office and bang, ejected from Telegram group. Is that why you detailed it so much? To plead your case for inactivity. If you can't do it, you can be active, but I see what you're saying. All right, that went well. I had been offered a stop loss and didn't take it. I was pissed off at what happened and needed a few days to realize that I was doing the same thing with my trades, sticking to bad trades. Season 2, spring. Had lots of meetings. You just really needed to have that said, didn't you? That's pretty funny. Anyways, here we go. Back to the story. Season 2 had lots of meetings at the new job, needed to understand everything, that there's a ton of info along with personal things that were happening. Couldn't have managed both work and family and group. Kept watching the shows except Wednesdays once at 2 weeks. Or the replays, subscribe to OnlyFans, changed how I look at the charts and life at some level. Started to document trades, had P&L screenshots, reanalyzed trades, and most important, having a stop loss. Muted all my social media groups and everything that needed my constant attention was distracting me. Changed accounts, avatar names, etc. The way myself, less prone to identify the me person with the me trader. This way I don't keep a bad trade just from the need to be right as much as before. Okay, sounds good. At the beginning of 2022, to cash out some profits from previous trading year, one day was a hysteria in my country with rumors that the diesel price was increased and the people from the media saying everyone is at the gas pump, others staying calm. There's no reason for this hysteria, the price will stop, not significantly go up. Having some free cash, thinking, okay, everyone can't be at the pumps, there would be accused of hundreds of kilometers. Okay, stay calm, exactly as you stated before, pandemic started, and people buying now are diminishing the stocks. Went to the pump and bought few barrels of diesel. I still have some. Nothing notable happened with the price a few days, and after that they started to slowly increase. As every gas station, it reached 50% more and now 30% more. And the war came to our neighbor, Ukraine. Went to exchange and converted to some euros just in case our country gets invaded and I needed to take my family and run away. And yes, I am the person that will run from war instead of fighting for their country. Nothing worth living to fight another day, man. That's interesting. Second Monday at work, we had a call about the situation. The management were telling us that they redirected some funds for helping Ukraine population, but that we still operate in Russia. But we're asking if we would to help the office from Russia or not. I was raged. Stop doing business there if you care at all. Just realized after a few hours that business is business. We could affect Russian lives if we quit. I work in fintech. Besides that, when U.S. invaded Iraq, the life of U.S. citizens was not affected. When I've seen the sudden ruble crash, asked at exchange if I can buy rubles, but I couldn't find any, but I converted to USD, as I was thinking that it will increase in value due to the war. Had some trades here, there, missed some oil setups, as I was too stupid to confirm a new broker account in time. Everything as well, still cashing some, now and then. I stocked up some wood pellets, fuel for heating systems, which had increased 38% from the end of July until now. Everything was nice. August came, went into holiday, opened an ETC long position before that, and it seemed it can go higher. I was looking at it from time to time in holiday, but I decided to move stop loss in profit, and bang, stop loss hit. Both of the trades since then until yesterday were losing trades. This made me scared of the markets, when to act, what to do. Had to take a break and try to adapt, take some smaller trades, try to be okay with smaller percent gains. I hope I'll stop the falling and don't go back to the winter. The climate has changed, and maybe I can stop the cyclicality. Thank you, Kevin, everyone, for helping me to be less stupid. Well, this is an interesting war story. I'm not really sure where to begin with this one. One, don't beat yourself up. It's a tough market. Looks like you've had some good players. You've had some losers. Let's see. This is a short for a breakdown. So a lot of these you're just selling before you have confirmation of structure. You know, this guy's never clear. He's in a bull flag that you don't see, and you sell predicting a fall. This is clearly a massive pump, and you're trying to predict the end, the crash of, like, you know, this. I see a 2B, I see the attempt. I think you're a little early on this. So I tell you what, join Trading Lounge and I'll break all these down and analyze them with you, and I'll help you figure out what you did wrong with them, because this is too many for me to do in the show. But there's some things I can see in here that I could tell you. You're just not aligned with the real macro direction of what you're trading. And when you're too zoomed in and you don't have context of price, you know, it's not that the structures you're trading are bad. It's that the alignments of the structures that you're trading are bad. So in most of these cases. So it's not something impossible to fix, though. Man, that was a fucking war story, wasn't it? Holy shit. The market's choppy, right? There's expanding formations too. If you guys are trying to trade low resolutions, there's no liquidity, you're going to see megaphones at the ass. The market is very fucking difficult. That's definitely true. So that's a crazy war story. Like I said, if you want to come in here, you know, join Acolytes on YouTube and jump in the trade lounge, and I can review those with you, and I can help you see, like, you know, where, you know, when you look at mini resolutions, where exactly the problem was. While I'm here, I'll just pull this up. Let's see what you have for the week in fucking red numbers. Looks like a lot. We're in October. You know, we're in the seasonally, like, very dangerous part of the markets, with the markets being dangerous. September, October, historically a very bad period for markets, and we're having a version of that. So with red events and a very volatile market, 30 VIX, these things can add even more volatility. So you want to know about these. Australia has been pretty volatile, you know, currency-wise. By watching their bank and seeing what they do, if they do a half-point adjustment, if they surprise, it's probably going to add more volatility to the Australian currency. Any of these assholes speak pretty much, you know, from the Fed. Listen to what they're saying. He may be orange, but he could say anything. He's not as important as Powell or you know, I forget the other guy. There's two of them that you care about when I see him on here. New Zealand dollar, and between Aussie and New Zealand, there's an interesting movements in Aussie and New Zealand that could be something worth keeping an eye on. But all of these, any ADP, non-farm, ISM, you care about both of these. This hope it happens open market, and at the end of the week, you know, unemployment, and again, you know, all this is going to be market moving shit for the U.S. So this is, even without the FOMC having a major event, I mean, you've got some of these guys speaking, not any known bodies, but these will be big market moving events on Wednesday and Friday, and on Tuesday in the U.S. Not the U.S. Actually, yes. This will probably be market moving, and it will happen inside the market while it's trading. So you want to pay attention to it. So yeah, definitely something to put on your event calendar. Is that it for? Yeah, I think that was the only scorecard I had left, right? Okay, cool. No earnings we care about either. It was an odyssey, yeah, no shit. It is the Jewish New Year, that is true. Put me down for XMR USDT. What does that mean? Oh, okay, that's just symbol. Gotcha. Did we get tickers today? If I haul ass through the macro and get done with enough time, yeah, I'll squeeze in what I can. Endeavoring not to put us at 920 every day, but it seems to work out that way. But just trying to cover all the bases. So let's see. Let's get us to macro right now, since, like I said, time is short. So this is our gap chart that we use for the S&P. We'll use this. And where are we right now, right? We're under the floor of June. So we're under the lows. We closed there right on the dead lows Friday. That was that bloody right there I showed you. And right now we're gapping up a little bit, but you pretty much want to watch this like low we put in here. This would make for, right, going back across this would make for a 2, man, that really is just ridiculous. That would make for like a 2B, you know, if he was able to get back on top of this, and that would be worth paying attention to if we're just going to stop running the lows, you know, with the entire market. I'm not saying that it's what's happening, but if he gets on top of that, that's what would be worth watching for. The Qs, tech, much weaker also, you know, are gapping right to this low. So you can see moves like, you know, if it's gonna like, you know, fizzle, you can see him trade back across it and then come back down. If you see some shit like that, like he's probably in deep shit, right? But if he's gonna bear flag across it, he can do that and still be terminal, and it might look like a 2B and come right back through it. So that's the 2 scenarios you want to pay attention to. He needs to come back and sustain something that looks like this, you know, right here, and then rotate back up and then do that. So be careful of like that kind of setups. This is kind of what he'll do. Yeah, that's worth paying attention to like that. So if he's going to 2B it or recoil, that's kind of the setup on the edge, and like, you know, be very careful if you're going to try to play some shit like that. VIX is retarded at this current moment. So the VIX would need to stay weak off of right now, off of, you know, its pre-market open for us, and stay down. Right now we are on top of that Goku level. And you know those lows are fucking money, right? So as much as up close he's recoiling down, you're watching for him to, you know, fail, or at least maintain this channel down, or we're in like, you know, deep shit for a markup into the high 30s. On this chart, that's what we have there. But over here, VIX, we gave a trigger. So for that same level, so you're looking at that same Goku level. Let's do it over here. That was stupid. Let's do it on this side. Right, so if he rotates up off of this shit through that level, you know, that's danger. We should turn that to like red, because that's bad for the stock market, right? So as much as like there's a pre-market push, you're still like north of 30. Like this is fucking epically bad VIX territory, just period, right? So it has to be dumping down from here. Pumping VIX today is dangerous. DXY things, is this the one we have? Okay, I think that's it. All right, so we talked about like, you know, possibly being a location like this. He's parabolic. He's at least stalled, right? You could have your first flag, and he could turn around. He could turn around, or he could just rotate right back out. So you do want to pay attention to your dollar. The dollar isn't a raging bull market. If he turns right back around, what is that yellow horizontal coming from? Oh, that's a big circle. All right, if this guy is able to rotate back up from here, or if he clears lows, right now he's attempting rotation of bull flag, and that would be reflected in things like the Euro, USD. Let me see, let's go over here, Euro, USD. Right, this is what you're watching. That same DXY bull flag that I have on the other chart is this, right? If he rotates down out of this, then that's down. DXY finds a floor here and rotates out. If DXY breaks that floor, this guy will keep channeling that away. And GBP, you know, they're attempting to fucking support this thing, and you can still see strength on him as he bounces. Right, he's still bouncing this trajectory. So GBP does look like he has like some kind of intervention like underneath him, and he's still got some kind of strength So that's worth paying attention to because that's what's putting some pressure on USD. And you're seeing this guy have like pressure across the board as GBP is kind of supported like everywhere, like we talked about last show. All right, so in the currency world, I think that's worth paying attention to, and or if GBP as a basket stalls and GBP USD rotates with Euro USD and begins to head towards this angle, and the DXY turns up, it's likely going to be strength in the VIX and likely going to be pressure on risk assets. So you want to keep all that kind of stuff in focus. I think CL was doing some shit this morning. There's been a little bit of rotation. Oil's kind of off everyone's radar. That's the only place I see anything that has any kind of real strength to it, you know. This pullback is a lot bigger than I thought he should be per, you know, per this area of the fractal we compared him to. It was a pullback area, but had never looked like it would go this deep. But when you look at it, right, you know, just to not like lose track of oil while it's in a deep pullback, this is the wick low of oil. And technically, you know, until he takes that out, he's still in an uptrend, right? He's just got a major corrective structure here. And looking at guys like CVX, god damn it. You know, some of these dudes, they kind of some major, you know, consolidations like waiting for oil. So I think, you know, you look at some of these dudes, wow, where to heaven. Yeah, I think you look at some of these guys and you look at it kind of like, you know, well, they're kind of congested, they're kind of sitting still. But remember we talked about this one a long time ago, XLE over XLF. We did this on the show like a year ago. Remember, this is a major rotation that I said was worth keeping your eyes on. We looked at the rotation of energy on financials. You know, they've been in a bear market since fucking 2012 and double bottomed with like, you know, the internet bubble era. I thought that was worth noting. You know, this is one of the things that like, you know, things like in this marketplace do look kind of bullish. You know, you look at things like, you know, CVX over like Citigroup and things, and we talked about, you know, aren't we a pair? You know, bull markets can happen anywhere. There is definitely like, you know, very broad-based strength in energy assets versus financial assets, and that also kind of screams there might be something wrong in the credit system. You know, for some of these guys, they have like very, you know, macro weakness against energy, which is not something you see very often, as you see the tide that was against energy for so long. You know, XOP versus CS, Credit Suisse, you know, these are bull markets of epic proportions that are going on in energy assets versus banking. And this is kind of a tell. Like you can see Credit Suisse, he's just getting fucking annihilated pre-market right now. So, you know, there's definitely some in the cross markets, there is kind of some signs that like this tide is not over, from what I've been looking at. So crypto things, let's see, crypto things. So with the pre-market pump that you see on stocks, see a little bit of strength, stability, but again, you have a very clear line in the sand, and like right now, it's kind of on the DXY. The DXY takes a fucking fat shit. This will allow this guy to rotate and hold ground and not go through this trigger, but if you see this go through here, and any of the stuff I showed you about the Euros bear flag, DXY, you know, rotations and stuff happens, then there's a good chance this guy and, you know, the S&P are going to continue to do this fractal, right? And so we have this fractal map. God damn it, it keeps resetting itself. Fucking have it down there before the show. Right, this thing can get extension. So we want to pay attention, right? We talked about this too. He could do a bear flag here just under the lows. He could do that bear flag here, and if he rotates out, DXY, you know, catches strength now or maybe a little bit later. It takes time to do it. We want to keep that macro in focus, you know, for what can happen over here with guys like BTC, who is setting up, you know, pretty much a very easy line in the sand to go with, like, you know, the rest of what we talked about. And then ETH, who, you know, has still yet to clear this expanded formation he's made. So you're kind of in wait and see with that guy too. These guys, if they, you know, in a high VIX environment, if that VIX is going to pump at this level, these guys will pretty much all line up and probably confirm each other across multiple asset classes and all get blown away together. So that should give you guys your scenarios to, like, you know, work from this week. Everybody got all that? That was simple, right? If you're going to build, like, you know, a pairs trade in stocks, you know, you want it to be two liquid stocks. You wouldn't want to go find two fucking penny stocks in something. You know, with things like Apple and, you know, JP Morgan's and Exxon Mobil's and, you know, big cap assets, you don't have to be too crazy about it. You know, ETFs you can use. But yeah, that it is a low liquidity situation. It isn't something I'll tell you to try and trade in like 1 minute chart like pairs trading. I think that's something you definitely want to trade in a higher resolution of time to allow the market to develop and not deal with the liquidity issues and getting out in two sides and possibly getting slipped. Remember, you're gonna have to build like a dollar level dollar weighted asset to create a proper pair, and you have to get out of each half on your own. So that requires a little bit above the average knowledge to manage, but it is where there is a market right now. While the dollar market itself is getting fucking ridiculously strong as smoking risk assets, there are certain sectors that are underperforming massively to other ones, and there are opportunities in that if you understand how to build your own pair. So, and if you guys don't remember that, go back to the show Aren't We a Pair and watch that show, and then it'll make a lot more sense to you. But that is where I see one opportunity. I wanted to present that. Looking at like the macro of XLE to XLF. That's a major big cycle move that's happening right now, and that it really extends on the back of a credit crisis. That's where the bull market is. So we have to put that on the radar. All right, so the pound things we talked about. There's a little strength in bonds, energy. We talked about watching oil there. Oil is still should be on your radar as far as his macro goes. And yeah, so that's about it. What do you got for symbols and what do I got for time? 9:07. Look at that. I can get done by 9:15 with this. All right, let's see. Yes, and precious metals too. There is a little strength in precious metals. Gold, I've seen that. So good. You asked for SLV. Let's look at SLV. Overall, macro-wise, these guys have looked like asshole. So that's where he is right now. Low stability, pre-market pump on that guy. This is not the chart I had for him. Let's see, SLV. There is a chart I had for SLV. So let's see where he's at. So last time we ever looked at this thing, we drew a box range down here. He's landed on it, low stability, bouncing on it. Let me see what GLD is. Definitely shittier. He'd have to come back across this before I thought that looked good. He could totally be like a 2B on the lows, but this would be a line in the sand for him to prove it. SOV is relatively stronger, so that makes you want to take a look at like maybe XAG, XAU. Don't I have that symbol? You should. Yeah, you guys are idiots. Where the fuck is the other one? So the silver over gold, right? And kind of looking at this is kind of worth checking out. It could be a major low rotation, and if you see strength in silver over gold, that's usually bullish for precious metals overall. Like you see here when gold did its fucking all-time high. Silver is pretty much like your Litecoin, really. So when there's speculation in silver, there's money definitely inside of gold, So you that kind of thought process. Definitely some volume to see there. So this is probably worth paying attention to see if this guy catches rotation, and that might be a timing for like precious metals overall. So not a bad pickup, but like right at the second, SLV needs some help to look a little bit better. But if that rotates, then this might be a move in silver, so off of this base. So it's worth paying attention to see if you can pull off like a rotation off here to go through and rotate the bull flag and then get to his box range and set up something that we care about. Forgot. DB, Bert B. Okay. DB, some must Deutsche Bank. Yeah, he looks like ass. That's him and CS are like fucking ugly cousins. So that guy looks like shit, and rotating down right now, he could easily head through his lows. If CS is real to have real problems, then he's probably right behind him, to be honest with you. So you're watching that, and then a break of this, he'd be probably terminal. Berg B, I think that is ugly. So, does he make new low right there? He has. I think if he doesn't rotate back up through that box range, you don't want to fuck with that guy right here. Oops. Let's just do some shit like this and go back above here. You wouldn't want this guy. I think he could go down and correct as deep as like the top of the last system down here. And I think here, if he found support, he'd probably be more interesting. I think this unless the market's about to find its footing, this is the more likely scenario right here. I think he's more likely to find his way down to like something like this, especially if there was a credit issue. He's gonna get fucking de-risked and probably pushed down to the floor down here, and this is probably where you're looking for him. In the worst case, if it's like fucking financial crisis bad, you can't put it past him not ending up down in this base, so these are the places that we give a shit if he gets down to, if there's like a major de-risking in the marketplace. If the market finds its footing and all of a sudden fucking VIX collapses from here, this would be the scenario. But I don't, at this moment it doesn't quite look like it right now. Well, let's make that guy. That's bad, right? So orange is bad. SPWR, and then SPWR. SunPower, SPWR. So is that my only chart for him? All right, so TAN and solar power stocks, so you pay attention to. So if you look at like TAN, run FSLR. Right, that's kind of what you're dealing with solar power, right? And so solar power as a basket looks pretty good. You need like risk assets to obviously stabilize, but that's what you're looking at. So with where is he? So okay, he's the orange one, right? So as a grouping of stocks goes, he's relatively strong. Right now you're just dealing with the counter structure that's going on with risk assets getting blown away. But on the macro, he looks like you're in a large scale bull flag with lots of these guys. So I think he's worth keeping on the radar with TAN and some of the other guys like FSLR. And CNY USD, somebody asked. Oh, cool, we did this. Sweet. So there's that. It looks like a humongous bull flag, right? And if this was going to really be that, that I think China's putting some support on the currency, then this would be a local top for DXY if that was going to actually stall that parabolic. That's what's happening here. So we're watching this level right here, and there's interventions obviously going on in GBP USD. So there's a few guys trying to fucking put the brakes on DXY. So we do want to keep track of things like that. But that's where CNY is right now on that resolution. At lower scales, I guess you could pay attention to, if that was going to be the case, then you probably want to watch this. That, if he has a 2B across it, ay caramba, that's not good. Which he's above it right now. If he could stall on top of it, that would be a bullish setup. But if he goes back through this thing, obviously he can extend the bull flag lower. For right now, this is just an approximate trajectory, so there's nothing hard and fast about this. This is the only thing you could kind of glean a possible long from this. And this is pretty cool. We had this projection up here if you came down, and now you have like a potential for this to kind of recoil across the range, but it would require DXY to stall out. If DXY does stall out right here, that's going to be a bullish thing for like risk assets, right? And this is going to mean that this SPY is putting in like a 2B, and this is done right here. So that's kind of like an interesting scenario, but like right now we just don't have like the full scenario for it. So, but that's what we got there. So next one, what am I at? 915. 915 CAD Euro. Euro Canadian. Let's just quote another. I think I have that drawn somewhere. So this is whenever this was drawn. Okay, this is a long time ago. So last time we did a bear flag on this, he swung through that, and we're here now. And so the Euro CAD looks a lot like, what's happening to Euro USD. As a basket, North America's been fucking smacking the shit out of fucking, the Euro. And so like Euro, MXN, everything's been pretty much smashing the Euro. So the Euro remains, at risk with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. And so probably should maintain a bearish, macro position, view of what's happening. At least in this world that we see this, he's pretty much just doing what, another bear flag. That's what we have on the USD also, right? The Euro USD. At a lower resolution, of course. So, let's see that again. Euro, Canadian. Much bigger pump going on over there, actually. Interesting. Okay. So, worth paying attention to both those guys. And then somebody asked for ape. I don't have ape, handy ape USD. Here's ape. The last time we drew ape up, damn it. Right, there he was. We had a rotation here to pay attention to. And then this is really contingent, right, on what we just talked about. BTC and, crypto assets break down and risk assets, continue to break down. This guy likely follows the path you've got projected here. If he's going to rotate out of like this area and create a rising floor, it would be dependent if everything stalls with the DXY, so and the VIX and so on. So everything that we have on here kind of goes together. I wouldn't say this guy's your best of breed though. In the event that risk has to turn around, I think this is kind of like people are attached to the ape verse, but the reality is he's definitely not your best of breed asset you could play if the market does recover. And then XMR, USDT. I have no idea which place I drew this motherfucker, but I know I have it. Oh, shoot me. That's one. That's definitely not it though. XMR. All right, there's that guy. So I have a trigger right here. I don't know why it's so fucking microscopic. But that's a trigger I had on him right here from forever ago. So he's actually sitting under it. So we had like a bull flag structure on this. Killed that. Never rotated. Well, he did rotate once, but just never sustained it. I think it's kind of how you view him. I think he's playable above this level. Right now, this doesn't look good, and if risk assets dump enough, he's going to come down with him also. But I think you're watching the structure. He is channeling lower. This is a bear channel he's doing, but he's ultimately a macro bull flag. So does he have the ability to rotate and pump back to this angle? If there is a bounce in risk assets in crypto, yeah, I think so. I think this is a good trigger to look at the way he's reacted above it before. This is like a great move. Yeah, here, this is a great move. Jesus fuck. A great move he had here. And, even here. So, Jesus fucking Christ. So, right now, this is the only one he didn't really do well on. And I think you'd be watching him, like, if he came across that and rotated at that angle, there might be a move here. He might go all the way down before he comes back up. But I think if he gets back and sustains this, there's a possible play in that guy. So, that's it. 9:20. See? Motherfucker. Perfect timing. All right, y'all. Stay safe out there. Catch you on the flip. Picture perfect, motherfuckers.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, Winter, 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 Winternomics, winter, 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 welcome, winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.